Discipline is one of the most praised virtues in modern society. That alone should make you suspicious. Systems do not glorify traits that threaten them. They glorify traits that extract value efficiently. Discipline is one of those traits, not because it makes men free, but because it makes them predictable. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Discipline is not power. Discipline is force. And force is what you rely on when you lack leverage. From a system perspective, disciplined men are ideal. They wake up early without questioning direction. They tolerate friction without demanding payoff. They endure discomfort without renegotiating terms. They grind, repeat, comply, not because it benefits them structurally, but because they were trained to believe endurance equals virtue. That belief is incredibly useful to any machine that needs output. Discipline is sold as strength, but it is often a substitute for strategy. When someone tells you to just be disciplined, what they are really saying is, don't change the system, change your tolerance. That framing keeps the structure intact while pushing the cost onto the individual. You are not encouraged to redesign the game. You are encouraged to suffer better inside it. Look closely at who praises discipline the most. Employers, institutions, productivity culture, gurus who monetize effort rather than outcomes. Discipline keeps people performing long after the return on effort has gone negative. It delays exits. It neutralizes rebellion. It turns exploitation into a personal failure instead of a structural one. This is not accidental. Discipline creates reliable workers, not powerful individuals. Power comes from leverage, assets, optionality, asymmetric upside. Discipline without leverage produces the most tragic figure in modern society. The exhausted man who did everything right and still went nowhere. The system loves this man. He doesn't complain loudly. He internalizes failure. He blames himself. He doubles down. More discipline, more suffering, less questioning. From the outside, he looks admirable. From the inside, he feels trapped. Discipline also distorts risk perception. A disciplined man is taught that deviation is weakness, that consistency is morality, that breaking routine is failure. Over time, this conditions him to avoid volatility, even when volatility is the only path to escape. He confuses stability with safety and endurance with progress. That confusion is expensive. In finance, discipline without leverage is called poor risk management. In psychology, it's called learned compliance. In real life, it looks like decades of effort with no structural change. The disciplined man optimizes execution inside a flawed framework instead of questioning the framework itself. Force does not scale. Leverage does. This is why the most powerful operators are not the most disciplined in the traditional sense. They are selective. They conserve energy. They deploy effort only where it compounds. They break routines ruthlessly when routine stops serving them. They are not loyal to habits. They are loyal to outcomes. The system flips this logic on its head. It praises consistency over accuracy, effort over effectiveness, discipline over intelligence. Because disciplined people can be forecasted. Forecastable people can be controlled. This does not mean effort is useless. It means effort must be subordinated to structure. Discipline is a tool, not a philosophy. When discipline becomes identity, you're already trapped. You start enduring things you should be redesigning. You start tolerating friction that has no upside. You start confusing resilience with submission. The most dangerous lie is that discipline builds freedom. It doesn't. Discipline builds endurance. Freedom comes from exits, from leverage, from systems that work without constant force, from positions where effort is optional, not mandatory. Weak systems demand discipline. Strong systems generate momentum. If your life requires constant force to maintain, something is wrong. Either the structure is flawed, or you're operating in a game where you have no leverage. Discipline keeps you alive in that game, but it will never let you win it. This is why discipline is praised so loudly, because it keeps people playing games they should be leaving. Understand this clearly. Discipline is respected because it benefits the system. Leverage is discouraged because it threatens it. When you hear endless praise for grit, hustle, and endurance, ask yourself one question: who profits if I keep going like this? If the answer isn't you, discipline is not a virtue. It is a leash. Most people will misinterpret this message. They will hear discipline is a lie and assume laziness. That is how deep the conditioning runs. They cannot imagine power without suffering. They cannot imagine progress without force. That limitation is exactly what keeps them contained. Capital psychology is not about comfort. It is about accuracy, about seeing which virtues are genuine and which ones are convenient myths. Discipline is not evil, but discipline without leverage is exploitation disguised as character building. The system waits for no one.